People want to know how to tighten up their house and what type of insulation do they use.
So the basic principle is that the heat in our homes is always going to cold, and we're always trying to stop that movement, and so we put insulation in the way, and that creates the resistance to heat movement.
That's right. Years ago in an old house, I would open up a wall and I'd find newspapers stapled in between the stud bay. They were trying to keep the drafts out. Little did they realize they were really trying to stop the heat from exiting the building.
And that speaks a lot about how much has changed when it comes to insulation. There was a time when it wasn't required, but even though people might have put those newspapers in the walls. Yeah. Nowadays, building code requires that we use insulation, and it seems like every year they're upping the ante on us.
Every year it seems to be getting stricter and stricter.
Right.
Now, fiberglass insulation is used a lot. Now, this insulation right here is an R13, meant to fit in a 2x4 wall cavity.
Mm-hmm. The R value is measuring resistance. The higher the R value, the more resistance the insulation has.
Exactly. Now, you could get a 6-inch insulation and put it in that 2x4 wall cavity, but it won't, the R factor won't be correct. It's too tight, it's not going to work to your favor.
Don't want to compress it, right. And this is the most common insulation out there, I would suspect. Yep. People can install it themselves.
It's a great weekend project. You put it in your attic, you can go to the home center and pick it up.
Roll it out, stick it in the bays,
right.
And off to the races.
That's right.
All right, now you don't use this that much actually, you like the foam.
I use spray foam. The reason I like to use spray foam is because it fits so tight in between the stud bays. It also goes around any penetration, so it's really an air infiltration barrier.
And that's a big difference, because on an R value basis, this open cell foam is basically the same as fiberglass.
It's about the same per inch, that's correct.
But it's more effective, as you say.
Exactly. When you spray this, this will actually come out beyond it. Then they will just take a saw and shave it flush with the studs, and you can just cover it up.
Yeah, open cell's one option with foam, closed cell.
Now, if you're looking for a higher R factor in less of amount of space, you use a closed cell foam. It's much harder. The R factor of this is about 6.4 per inch.
So nearly twice of what the open cell is.
Right. It's also a lot more expensive than the standard fiberglass insulation.
So if you've got open bays, this is a great application. Fiberglass is a good application. A lot of times the drywall is already up and you need the retrofit, hence cellulose, which ironically is just ground up newspaper, so things kind of come full circle.
It's right back again. Now, if you live in an old house and you want to tighten that up, you can have someone come in, they'll drill some holes, they'll remove the siding, drill some holes, and inject a hose or a tube against the wall and dense pack this into the wall cavity. And that will give you the insulation and really tighten up the walls. It's also important to know that cellulose has a borate in it, so insects don't like it, and it's a fire retardant also.
All right, well, several options out there, Tommy, and lots of good information. Thank you.